good, YouTube? It's your boy Dr. J and the Women, and today we're doing something different, man. And there's a reason behind that, I promise. This is apple juice, by the way.
Mentira.
So once you guys noticed that I liked analog horror, the suggestions just came rolling in, man. I mean, they were left and right, which is great because some of these I have not watched, not in their entirety. This being one of them. We just gonna get into it, man. Okay, so today's video is about The Painter. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. I'm absolutely certain you've all heard about it. The Painter is it's a story. I am not one to criticize people's art. With that being said, today we're about to criticize the shit out of his art. I don't hate it. I don't, and I actually think it's really good as far as it did what it set out to do. Now, do I appreciate the subject matter of all of it? It's a little much. I would have to say this is probably the most disturbing story that I've ever watched in its entirety. There are some that really disturbed me, but this one is very disturbing. After watching this, I did a little deep dive. Did a little deep dive in Urban Spook. And a lot of people were giving him a lot of shit online about this story. Now, I understand. I do understand. I'm not saying don't. I appreciate the art. The thing is, as uncomfortable as it is something that really could happen, for the most part, in real life. Let's get into it. So the first episode is called Faces. Ooh, Faces. Faces basically kind of sets the tone for what you're looking at as a series. So it kind of starts off with a warning, lets you know, hey, the following footage is a little disturbing. You might not, they don't tell you how disturbing. I am a sick puppy, man. If it disturbed me, there's a reason I'm drinking apple juice.
Mentira.
Oh, shit, I'm gonna need another. It starts off telling you 6 months ago, there were some paintings discovered. There were victims of unalivings. A lot of these paintings, they reflect the way that the victim was unalived. I don't want to get into some of that because it's some pretty gruesome stuff. And I am already on a strike. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I've already got a strike. I don't even know how, but I got one. So I got to be careful with what I talk about.
Today's episode of Censoring Yourself is brought to you in part by YouTube's AI monitoring system. Have you gotten a copyright strike yet? Have you said anything offensive? If you haven't, yes you did. Are you tired of being able to openly talk about anything on YouTube? Enjoy wonders such as, what did I do? What did I say that got my channel struck? So come on down to YouTube today and get censored like you've never been censored before. Thanks, YouTube.
This is probably not the video for me to be talking about right now. I'll give an example. There's a victim who was found and their teeth had been removed, and there was a painting of said victim depicting abstractly a lot of teeth. So you've got that going. There is also one that's going to be kind of important for later. This painting is actually named Fuck Toy Corey. Keep that in mind. That's going to be important later. So every time there's a unaliving discovered, and it's always in some brutal way, there's another painting discovered that kind of correlates with the unalived victim. There was also a painting found, and it was a self-portrait of the unaliver, and this one is also very disturbing. So that's Faces. Next episode is called The Lighthouse. Ooh, The Lighthouse. In The Lighthouse, of course, they show us the painting of the unaliver again, and they say that there was a police officer who has been unalived, and there was also, the rest of his family who has also been unalived. The baby was also a victim. The unaliver does not have a line that they won't cross. Women, children, the elderly, doesn't matter. Even animals can get it. I'm not with this. So that's why it disturbed me so bad. The family of the police officer was found in a barrel. So yeah, there's that. So there were photos taken of the family before they were unalived. And I don't know if I'm going to be showing any of these paintings or photos. I might not. You may have already seen them. I'm just right now while recording, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. So if you saw them already in the video, then I did it. But if you haven't, then I'm probably not. So the third episode, called In the Walls.
Ooh, in the walls.
Probably the most unsettling of all of them as far as the subject matter. However, it's like a competition, man, because it just keeps getting more unsettling. You see, there are twins that have been kidnapped by the Unaliver. Seeing as how the Unaliver doesn't have a line that they won't cross, the fact that these twins are missing is terrifying. So there were two twins. It was a little boy and a little girl. The little boy's name was Corey, and the little girl's name was Margaret. That's my grandma's name. So now this just became personal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, don't come for my grandma, bro. Okay? I'll give you something for real. The twins have been separated from themselves at the waist, okay? Because I can't say what happened. He took the top half of them off of the bottom half and then switched it. So Corey's bottom half is now attached to Margaret's upper half. That was what was found. However, Margaret's lower half and Corey's upper half were not found. The podicises don't know what happened to that. Do you remember the painting earlier that I said was important? One affectionately named Fucktoy Corey. So I will let you guess what the Unaliver has done to Corey. That painting, Corey, and knowing what happened to Corey, is a big part of why a lot of people were upset with Urban Spook. I'm not gonna lie, I was highly upset as well when I first saw this. It is very upsetting, but thankfully this isn't happening for real. We are being told a story. Now, as far as storytelling, am I a fan of it? No, I don't like stuff like that. Back to the story, though. Corey has been also removed from himself. We'll say that. I'm going to leave this to you guys to investigate on your own. I'm not going to risk another strike. Corey has been removed from himself by pulling force. I'm just going to leave that there. You do the investigation, but I'm just here to tell you guys what I got from the story. So really how this happened was Corey, unfortunately, was dared by his friends to go into some creepy abandoned place, a cabin in the woods, I think. His friends were outside, but he went in there. Unfortunately, the Unaliver must have been in there, hiding in the walls or something, and must have taken a liking to Corey. And so even though Corey, I believe, may have gotten away, Corey ultimately did not get away forever. Also, too, another thing is, at the end of each episode, they give a number to call and contact. They say if you recognize any of this information, call this number or contact this number to give the authorities whatever information you have. Now, I have not called this number yet. I will, but I just haven't yet. So that's In the Walls. I believe that may have been the episode that really got a lot of people to give him some severe hate. I stopped watching at that point. This is my first time watching the entire series in its entirety. My first time getting to that point, I kind of just was like, I'm a little turned off by that. The next episode, The Clue.
Ooh, The Clue.
Starts off letting you know about a private investigator. His name is Sean Kane. He was also found in not a good way. So apparently the Unaliver climbed to the third story using a drain pipe, right, to get into this person's apartment. And in the living room, the police found just a giant pile of candle wax. Where did he get enough candles to melt this wax? How does an Unaliver get you to sit still long enough to have all of this wax melted on you? Because yes, inside of the wax is a person who has been unalived. Their arms have been removed, and there also was a third arm in there. Where did you get a third arm? Do you just walk around carrying a third arm? The image of the person inside of the wax, it's a little bit, it's not funny. It is kind of funny. I don't want to say it's funny because We'll talk about that later. Another victim, I believe this was actually the investigator because they mentioned like another person. I don't know. They're introducing people that are just getting killed off immediately. So it's hard for me to keep up with who's who. I just know the names of the victims, I guess. I don't know. But I don't even know which victim had what happened to them because it's all happening so fast. They're introducing so many people to then unalive them. This is going to be a hard one to edit, bro. Oh my God. If I'm able to get this video edited, it's going to be heavily cut. Like, there's going to be so much left out that I can't talk about. So in the clue, we also get our first real look at the unaliver. It was a camera that was destroyed, and there was a picture snapped right before it was destroyed. You don't really get a good look at the unaliver, but you get like partially, and it is a bit disturbing. So we've got the self-portrait of the unaliver. We've got a couple of pictures that are just sprinkled throughout the entire series of the unaliver. And then you got this one. And that's the clue. There was a man that was stuffed in the pipes. You know what I'm saying? Like he got stuffed right in the pipes. There was a number 2 written on the wall in blood. And I'm assuming that that's a poopy joke. Because he was in the pipes. This all is going to make sense at the end, though. I promise. So the next episode, Witness. Ooh, Witness. We get a little bit of progression. You know what I'm saying? We get a little, sprinkle a little something. Give a little something. Give a little something. I don't know. Shit. It's a young girl named Flora Rosenberg. Her sister Tina. And I believe Tina's boyfriend Jack. They go on a road trip. And the unaliver somehow is able to get them. Jack's car is like busted up. I guess there was a car accident. And the unaliver was like, oh, this is perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got 3 little victims. 3 little sexy little victims. Just victimize them. Victimly. Jack was just unalive. Flora got her face just carved up, man. Turned into a little flower, and there was obviously a painting of that too. However, the sister Tina survived it, but Tina didn't get away. The Podies found her before the unaliver was able to finish. Tina was found tied to a tree with her feet and arms removed from her. The younger sister Flora was just completely mutilated, man. It was just bad. The Podies went investigating and couldn't find where the unaliver was, so they just took Tina and got her on out of there. They still haven't found Jack's body. They don't know where he's at. Jack just hasn't been found. So Tina's interview, basically she was saying that she remembers waking up in the car crash. She heard screaming. She couldn't find Jack, but she heard her sister screaming, and she got dragged out of the car by the unaliver. And she saw her sister. She said, oh, my sister's face. Oh my God. I don't want to imagine any of this, to be honest with you. Like I said, this is so unsettling. Like, it took me a day and a half to get through all of this. Now I've hit the apple juice pretty hard. The police made a sketch of the unaliver based on Tina's memories. Now we have an idea. Hold on, is this a woman doing this? That's crazy, but how? I'm not qualified to split those hairs, so never mind. So that's Witness. So up next we have Pigs, which is the next episode. Ooh, pigs. Apparently, I believe there was a former police officer who also was unalived. They went to this former police officer's barn. The wife of the police officer was found in one of the stalls in the barn, handcuffed to the side of it. There was also a horse. Inside of the horse, they found like a mattress. What are we on, like Sealy Serta time? You know what I'm saying? You just rolling up mattresses and just shoving them in horses, bro. Like, there was also, their granddaughter was visiting. She had her head removed from herself. That was found in a rolled up blanket. There was a horrible smell that was coming from one of the stalls. And it was a pig that had the former officer stuffed into it. And there were faces nailed to the walls all around the pig. So, faces of previous victims, obviously. I mean, because you don't just go to the store and pick up faces in aisle 7. Did I mention that I'm on a strike? I got a strike on my channel, so did I mention that? I don't know if I can continue with this. There were a lot of paintings that were left, obviously, of said victims. Look, you guys are just gonna have to go online and look for this stuff yourself, man, because some of this stuff, there's only so much that I can reword to make appropriate for YouTube standards and whatnots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just end the video here. Okay? If you guys want me to finish talking about, I can give a synopsis of the rest of the series in the next episode. If you guys are into that, please let me know down below, because I'm trying something new. I couldn't do a reaction to this. This is what I'm doing now instead. And I'm almost out of apple juice. So, well, that sucks. So if you guys want part 2, let me know in the comment section down below. This was very hard to get through. I've been filming for like an hour. Just me trying to figure out like how to reword some of this stuff. Stopping myself and being like, ooh, I can't say that. If you guys want to watch the original series, look up Urban Spook. Type in The Painter. My final thoughts on this. I will give you guys this. Without spoilers, obviously, for the ending. Because the ending, it's a doozy, but it's not exactly a doozy. Everybody's giving Urban Spooks a hard time about this. I say leave them alone. The real reason why is because Urban Spooks stepped out into a very uncomfortable space, putting your art out there for the world to judge it. Now, I'm not an artist. I'm just a YouTuber that just does stupid shit on camera. Urban Spook, I think, did something great here. Even though it's things that I disagree with, the fact is we're talking about it. Even all these years later, we're still talking about the art, right? And whether it's good or bad, the fact that you're still talking about the art, it's something different, right? Because if it was the status quo, you would look at it, you'd be like, oh, this was nice. And then you'd forget about it. This is something that I don't think I'll ever be able to forget about, okay? And I'm letting you all know now, I'm pretty sick. I love horror movies. I love me a good scary movie. This is just disturbing, man. This disturbed me on a whole new level. I would say, don't give Urban Spook a hard time. If anything, I say congratulations. Do I like the subject matter? Not at all. But it is an interesting story, and once I got past that, I was able to follow the story and say, okay, this is unsettling. I hope they find the unaliver. Also, in some of the later episodes, the quality just skyrockets. Just like with Mandela Catalogs, Alex Kister, nothing bad about the early videos. The early videos actually terrified me more. You can see the progression of their art and their comfort with the art. They're learning the art space. Alex Kister, with his earlier videos, you can tell in his later videos, he's getting better at this. It looked amazing. The cinematography, everything. The special effects, everything. So I say with Urban Spook, the later episode that you see a quality boost. Chef's kiss. Very unsettling, but you got your point across. It wasn't necessarily just shock value, and I hate when people say that, because a lot of the times, shock value is what makes a lot of these horror movies so terrifying. And I look at it like this. All the trash that you guys are giving Urban Spook online, back in the 70s or the 80s or whenever it came out, they gave the director of The Exorcist that same amount of issues. Those were the times where it was like, oh, it's not okay to talk about possessions and stuff like that. You know, we believe that you may be a part of the occult. Even Michael Jackson with his Thriller music video had to give a statement at the beginning saying, I'm not a part of the occult. I just like horror. That's it. So I think with this, was unsettling, very. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was like his first project. I mean, obviously the first project's not always going to stick the landing. I think he did pretty good with this. And I think that he did what he set out to do. He got us all talking about it. He made me uncomfortable, and I love horror. I've seen damn near every horror movie there is. This one is going to stick with me for different reasons. So anyways, I love you guys. That was it for today. Just be good to each other, man. You know what I'm saying? Be good to each other. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. I love you guys. Out.